Yeah, Simone, you are the head, the one side because of Parkinson.
Yeah.
Okay, but besides that, you're okay.
I have many things, but I'm okay.
Okay, so that means life continues.
Life continues, yes.
Well, don't worry. I'm also getting older. Oh, look, it's like Papa Noel.
I was afraid you were staying young, David.
No, Simone, but I had to say, like you, when I was working with you, I feel like 13 years old kid, but outside is quite already, with some years. But inside still is very playful, so it's not so bad. Yeah.
And you just taught this 5-week workshop.
Yes, I did once again another intensive, and then now I'm getting to love the intensive workshops because I found that they are a really great learning experience for me and for also the students. And you see, we really go deep. It's
Yes.
not just 1 week and then leave, but also different layers of whatever information is passing on. And then yes, I learn a lot when it's longer than 1 week now, more than ever. Also, to arrive all the time in the moment to say, okay, what else can I say? And then there's always something, so it's in that way. I mean, this is great. It's quite good exercise for the imagination. So yes, I continue the intensive. I do another intensive now in January, but this one is mainly on improvisation,
Okay.
to
The
yeah.
one you were just doing now was
But
flying low or passing through?
passing through and flying low,
Okay.
because now they can go through each other.
But it is improvisation.
There are certain structures that I mean, it's like you have rules of a game, but you can play spontaneously with the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you're teaching also pathways.
Yes. I always like the social aspect of the dance, and that Simone knows very well. I mean, I always love to move a little bit more than my family and other people. But then working with Simone, and she passed on to us a warm up of a group together as the Scramble.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time that we did it, I really loved the little interconnectivity that was happening, as you walk between two people, it's like,
Yeah, can you describe Scramble for us? The way you remember it, I mean the way you experience it?
I remember from the first time Simone asked us to just walk always between two people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. As you go through the room, you practice walking between two people. And in that time, it was walking, like you go with the front of your body. So, and then I love that. I mean, I immediately included in my warm-ups with groups. Every time we go to a group, I thought this is great because you have this side and that side as you walk through, But then by doing it, and then also with different background. I didn't have the background of Simone. I have a science background, and also the Latin culture with social dancing as for celebration. So Venezuela is a dance culture. So then I started getting to like, what about if we walk backwards, and then we go forward and backwards. And then if we go forward and backward through people, and then if we go forward and backward through people, we may need to pass through spiral in our bodies to walk forwards and then backwards. So then the spirals started happening. We were going through the room many times. We were not thinking so much on pathway thing curve. So it was always a little bit straightforward. So then, we will crash into people many times when we do running. Mm-hmm. I was younger, I wanted to also do it running, So then when we were walking straight forward was no problem. Running became a problem because we got a lot of accidents, And then when we started getting the accidents, I started, thinking a little bit more with the whole group, inquiring here and there. I say, well, we may need to really pay attention on how we take the body. So maybe we need to go always in curves, because, like when you go in the highway, you catch the highway through the entrance are in curves. So then you go into the main highway. So then I thought, okay, that could be possible. And then that was creating less accidents, So then we continue working like this, forward, backwards, spiraling. And then all of a sudden, one day, hey, what about if we just see the whole room as like our limitation? And then as soon as we say, I depart, in other words, when as soon as we say we take our bodies, we become a pathway that somebody can follow us or we can lead, And then those pathways should be in curves. So then we can continuously play in continuous, like continuity can happen easier. So that we don't have to, stray forward somebody, you catch in curve like a ball, So then by doing it like that, the whole group got smoother. So there was much less accidents, and then a little bit more eloquent situation started happening. And then after that, by doing the intensive workshops with the same group, and then arriving only until what I'm talking now, I thought, well, what about if we go extending more our arms and our legs? Or in other words, what about if we go through the pathway in curve, the whole body goes in curve, but then you can also bring your dance bagage, your dance background, and then share it with everybody in the group, but it's still your whole body as vectors or pathways in curve. Not only that you make a curve, but you become a curve. It's hard to explain that, but it needs to go through you. You're like, the image is like it goes through you. So then when we started doing it like that with the full, more expressions of the body and a little bit more multidirectional than before, and then it got more richer from our point of view. So we have more possibilities to play for a long time.
And the body has to be relaxed, so that if you
you need to tune
yes.
into that present with everybody, and then it will be like just enough tension to keep the interconnectivity happening. And then through the intensive of in Costa Rica, after 10 weeks doing it, I realized, wow, what about if we go under, over, and we go under,
That's another exercise from Simone.
Yes.
Simone, can you tell us about this exercise?
The under, over, and around.
Yes.
Well, actually, that started when I was working with Tricia and Steve.
Yes.
And we played this game. We were creating many games that we played.
Yes, that as a base is a fantastic base to just make incredible compositions. And when you have more than 50 people in doing it, I tell you, it's quite amazing. So yes, it started like that, and then I said, well, what about if I bring the information from flying low to make it smoother, to go under, and then to go over? Well, maybe we need to practice a little bit, also influenced by contact improvisation, like when you throw yourself over people, and then how you can be ready as you're spiraling, going through a pathway to catch the others with your arms or legs, etc., if you're on the floor. And then that also becomes very exciting and always on the edge, because you need to have more awakening. You have to be really alert in all the senses, and your arms and legs has to be like ready to to help each other. So all that, putting it together, and then allowing the room to be totally empty, or to be everybody in it, and also the scale of long, medium, and large pauses or arrivals. You know, if you were working on a pathway, we practice with the destination. So that means that you need to arrive, and the arrivals becomes like listening to what is, where you coming from, how you perceive the group, who is going through you, and then from there to continue. So then all that together became somehow like the passing through.
So you're saying that passing through is a combination of scrambled and over, under, and around in a way?
Well, definitely that was the big inspiration for it.
Yeah.
Yes, I would say if that combined with my cultural background, because I didn't come from content improvisation, and from improvisation I came mainly from Simone's improvisation, like you know, his way of approaching it somehow.
When did you meet Simone? When did you guys meet?
At the American Dance Festival.
Yeah, at the American Dance Festival, I think it was 1983.
1983. Okay.
Yeah.
And Simone, you said that under, over, around came by working with
Steve.
Trisha and Steve.
Yes.
Yeah. And what about Scramble?
That came quite a bit later for me. When I went to Los Angeles and was at CalArts, and I was learning how to drive, and I couldn't imagine how people knew to change, that it was safe to change lanes. And how did they know that two cars weren't going to suddenly decide to go into the same empty spot? And so I thought, I'll make something to get a feel of how people can safely go through spaces at the same time and feel what's going to happen and how to go through. And I was doing a little bit of teaching at CalArts. I was not on the faculty, but they let me use the studios and the students to try things out. And the first thing I wanted to do was something I called a buzz-in. I wanted people to go zzz as they went through the spaces. And we forgot the buzzing very quickly because we needed all our breath to do the movement. And I saw that as soon as we started to do it, within a few minutes everybody was smiling. And so I realized it's a good way to start a workshop, especially if you're working with people who don't know each other very well yet.
Yes, that's what I also learned. But with that, it was great. Even before you say names, for me, it was so great. I still use it like that, huh?
So that was in 1970.
Wow. I was born already, but no thinking of the dance profession like that at all.
Where you brought it, you developed it very much. So it's a whole practice that's quite complex and that teaches many things.
Yes, that's what I mean. And it started happening when I started doing it for more than 10 weeks with the same group.
One time I did it with a group of performers in Salzburg at the museum, and there was a large outdoor space, and somehow that day Scramble really took everybody, and they were like birds when you see how birds fly together.
Yes.
And they were getting close together and far apart and going in waves together, in curves together, and it was really joyful and beautiful. And I often tell them to go easy on initiating anything, but to read the mood of what's happening in the group and to keep with that. Of course, then if you want to contrast and start another thing, you can do that, but to have that sensitivity to what's moving, what quality is coming into play or really pulling the whole group.
Yeah, it's just very beautiful. And you just said it right. You know, the images that many times we have gotten is like the flock of birds, this immediately, but also the school of fish on the water.
Yes.
That comes immediately. And then also like the flies in the garden, you know, like when you go through the garden and all the flies goes like this, you know, depending on the composition that the group is playing with, just by chance. And yeah, so somehow images from nature, you know, but they just arrive. I mean, it's not like we think on that and then we make them. So it just happen as flashes, you know.
Yeah.
And that's also quite exciting, quite beautiful.
And it seems that as much as in Scramble and in over, under, around, when people starts moving, it seems like pretty chaotic, and then it comes to something smoother, like naturally.
Oh, I don't know if it's chaotic at the beginning. I don't. I think it organizes itself very quickly. But one thing that I like to do with, and I used to do it more with Scramble, is at a certain point, we do an exercise before we do Scramble. We go towards we work in partners, go towards each other and take, our hands connect, and we kind of take that and then push.
Yeah.
And so there's this kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a little connection.
And then you can turn and do it with someone else, and everybody's turning.
Yeah.
And then finally it goes pretty hard and fast, and you're all bumping into each other and into your backs and your fronts.
Yeah.
And to take it to a risky place. And I remember with Tricia and Steve, we used to make up rules of over, around, and under, and other rules. That was just one of the rule games that were impossible to do. And so we knew that we had to do our best. We had to try to do it, but it was impossible to do it. So we'd be going as fast as we could from being on the floor over here, and then you had to climb over that guy over there, and then you had to listen for letters on the radio. So when your initial came, then you had to roll on the floor. So we were more working with the impossible and a little bit of violence.
It's just that we didn't really know, you know, the full eloquency of the body with the people, because the alone, yes, you can do many things alone with distance from people, but when you have people, you know, over you, under you, and all these things, you know, like, you know, I mean, spirals, the world of spiraling, that helps a lot to include everybody. That for sure, that helps us a lot too. The possibility to transform yourself into something softer or harder according to the needs, that, you know, that also help us a lot, you know, the soft chi or hard chi, or, you know, the use of to be ready to use full our hands, also to help the others to know what, you know, how you're guiding your energy under, over, and around, also your feet. That also helps a lot. The full guidance of your whole body, including your knees, elbows, they are the most things that hurts more. I mean, more accidents come from that. The experiential has been what I have been really dedicated to it, and that for sure I learned it by working with Simone. That I had to tell you, yes, this has been somehow the gift for that, you know. And
I learned it by working with Anna Halprin.
Yes, imagine. So there's a tradition in there. So, but it's wonderful. It's really beautiful, and I still practice like that.
So passing through and passing on, from Anna to Simone, from Simone to David.
Well, that transmission, because I mean, if I think of our bodies, they are like tools for communication. To communicate whatever goes through us, whatever maybe we bring into this world, and we use this body right now. So that's pretty much transmission. So transmission in general.
Yeah.
And that's also something wonderful that I learned from Simone, that, Simone was the first dance teacher, but also artist that I met, that every time that she will give us feedback, she will do a whole full solo that for me, it was incredible, fantastic. So present, so, like immediately the whole room becomes something else. And then I thought, wow, this power of transforming with your body, your whole presence, including the room.
It's beautiful that something that it's not a technique, it's not, it's been transmitted from one person to the other. We don't need a diploma for it. We don't need a...
No. I mean, definitely no. I mean, in that way, no. I mean, so many people, if it's flying low, so many people ask me, you should do, copyright for it, and say,
Right.
But why?
Right.
This belongs to everybody. The way of transmitting to Mary, that's more like, myself,
Wait, Simone wants to say
I'm
something.
thinking now of Nancy Stark-Smith and her underscore. And she was working not so many days, but with the same people for many years, with intensive workshops and with I never did it, but I heard her talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
And a process of laying down certain experiences before getting to an open improvisation.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the underscore, and there's also the tuning score from Lisa.
Yeah.
Also working for many, many years with the same group of people.
Yeah.
Just over and around, just like that. There are three things. It's already very rich, and then just by doing, you discover so many things. I mean, ways of, the intelligence of the body, the more eloquent and easier to transmit, so so I think these things are great. So yes.
And when you said that, it reminds me that in Simone's work too, with those two practice, over, under, around, or scramble, it's like you often say, it's one idea, one action, and you go for it.
Yeah. It's one action, but it's an action that is already has interconnectivity, because you have to pay attention to this one and that one all the time. So that opens up other possibilities of moving your body. In the 90s, I was invited, a musician from Hanover. I forgot his name. And then he will invite some people that are improvising. So then we will go there, musicians and dancers, two dancers, me and a Wuto dancer, and when we arrive there, he say, okay, you two perform 2 minutes. Good beginning, good end. I say, wow, I love that. The other one, you 4, 10 minutes, good beginning, good end. And then we do a tutti, 2 good beginning, good end. And I thought, this is great. There is so much possible ways. So then immediately I thought of Simone the first day that I went to her workshop, and Simone said, now we're going to go from this, diagonal, from this point A to point B. And everybody went like, what else? What can we do in there? How we do it? And then Simone said, yes, take a partner and go together. And I thought, This is great. So I always love these very simple structures that, you have so much possibilities to listen to the present, and then still you have, something to hold into it. Inside that structure is infinite possibilities. So I always like that, this is great. So actually now I'm talking, I think that when I met Simone, it was more like click, crazy woman. But anyways, but I loved it. Yeah. It was really great.
It was so wonderful when you arrived to class, because before you, they were sending me students who had failed to make it to go into the ballet class. So they would send them to me, and the mood was so bad. And then here comes David, and he's going, boo, boo. And everybody got excited, and we started to move.
Oh God, Simone, it's so great to see you. And how old are you now, Simone?
I'm 86.
86. Okay. Your birthday is in March next year. Okay.
I showed her the picture of the Tic Tac Center, the outside.
And
Yeah, beautiful.
from that one, can you see?
Yes, that's your paintings?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The blue figure, that's like me now.
Yeah, with lemons inside. It's very bitter.
Oh, lemons inside.
Well, thank you so much.
Wow, but you go immediately. But wait, just 1 minute to Matt. Come to say hello, because I just to say hello to Matt.
So yesterday, Simone told me how she gave you away. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. Hi, Matt. Matt.
Hello.
Hello.
Great to see you. But Simone, we're still together, so that's not so bad.
Yeah, I did a good job.
Wow, Simone, it's so beautiful to see you again.
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay, Agnès. So, well, we keep in touch. Okay. And Simone, I send you all my love, and then well, we just keep in touch. See, I had to take a photo because
And David, wonderful to hear you talking about your work with people.
Yeah, but Simone, I also love teaching.
Yeah.
I love performing, that for sure. But teaching and performing is not so different for me. So I'm always performing. So, and then what it means performing, So, but it's so cute. Yeah. Oh. But Agnès, it's really great that you're doing this and went to visit Simone. Yes, I really thank you for doing that.
Well, it's
and then to put us together. Yeah, it's really a great gift. I'm very happy for it. Okay, so big love. Ciao.
Ciao, David.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao,
Ciao,
perro.
Ciao.
Ciao. Okay. Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao. Adios. Adios.